All right, thanks so much, Tommy Filiault and the rest of the band for coming on to perform on Advocate Sessions.
Great.
This is a really great set.
Thank you.
First off, how did you guys get started as a group?
Just we're all pals. We all went to high school together.
Really? Okay.
You know, me and him went to high school together, and we know this guy from just being in the neighborhood and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we me and him been jamming about 15 years together.
Yeah, we used to back up a singer by the name of Dave Robinson, a
Yeah.
group called the Waylon Dave Blues Band.
Okay.
We had a long stand at the Deja Brew in Wendell.
Yeah.
And Dave stepped aside, and we kept going. This is the Tommy Filiault Trio. There's a Tommy Filiault Band. We have a blues outfit called the Fortified Blues Band, which is two more cats, Bo Henderson from the Reprobates.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. We have a lot of fun playing, mostly local. We went to Maine a couple weeks ago, did a show up there at Lenny's, Westbrook, Maine.
Yeah.
Great time.
Road trip.
And so, Tommy, I presume you write most of the material, but it seems like you guys co-write from time to time?
Yeah, this latest thing we did today was written, on and off for the past 10 years. And, on and off for 10 years, me and this guy got together and, I was saying, man, I got a song, but I don't have a second verse. And he came up with this great that song Saturday. He came up with the main verse of it. So it was, one of those things that just happened real quick. And, every once in a while that happens, it just happens. And, you can't plan it. It was sort of like really offhanded, like, wow, that works. And that was it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But most of the songs you brought like to the rest of the band, and you kind of work it out together as a group.
Yeah, I've been writing on and off for about 25 years.
Awesome. And what do you tend to write about? Like,
it's just about stuff. Like a big thing with me is like when people say a phrase or something. That's like a month of Sundays, so I'll think of a month of Sundays and I'll say, what about Sundays? Well, I get up late and I put my sweatpants on, and then you start delving into something, an afternoon nap will really be fine. You just kind of make it really kind of like, it's like a mini story, sort of try to make it make sense to each other.
Gotcha. So this is a question for all three of you. You guys can go take turns answering it. Who are some of your biggest influences musically?
Wow. Okay.
Me, Allman Brothers, early Southern rock, stuff like that. And then later, about 10 years after I started playing a little more blues. So I got into some of that. So, it's all these bands that had a lead guitar guy and stuff like that, And then I started hearing some folk music, and they were telling stories in their folk music. And I started saying, wow, I really, kind of can get into it, their story that they're telling.
Ah, yes. Cream.
Nice.
The Doors are just incredible. I was 5 or 6 years old, and that sound of that voice is just, wow. It sounded like the guy's music next door, but it wasn't crooner music, even though it sounded like it. Ry Cooder, Taj Mahal, all the odd ducks that nobody was listening to in my school, and they all thought I was a little strange, but, I thought they were strange. So we evened it out like that.
Well, no wonder we play well together, because Cooter and Taj Mahal, those cats were early influences on me as well.
Big.
Came from Washington, D.C. There was a big R&B and soul scene there in the 60s and 70s, so I'm hooked on bands with B3s and horn sections. I was fortunate to be playing in a band, and I still am, that's been doing original music and a lot of other types of music to the point where we were uncategorizable when it came time to get a record label. It was just too out there, and I guess about 20 years later that all became Americana. So it sort of all blends in what we do, but I think ultimately it would be blues and R&B that really brought me to the front. And I don't sing or write, so it's just, for me, it's a gas just to be able to accompany someone who's got such great material and play locally, play regionally, and just time for jamming. In a trio, there's a lot of room, a lot of space, and it isn't unusual for one song to melt into another and just keep going. It's a blast.
Awesome. Well, I just want to ask you guys too, is do you have any gigs coming up that you'd like to let people know about?
We
November,
got
December?
a couple. We're playing up at the Treehouse Brewery November 23rd, the 5 to 8 show like that, and then December we're playing out the Shire or the Stationery Factory out in Berkshires there in December 20th area.
That's in Dalton?
Yeah, that's in Dalton. That's actually my hometown.
Oh, really?
And he grew up in Beckett, so we went to high school together, and so that's how we've known each other since we were like 13 or something. And now I'm 67 and he's like 81. Looks good though. The
Yeah,
vitamins
I feel pretty good.
That new vitamins.
Vitamins.
No, but it's sort of like that. So we got a Treehouse Brewery November 23rd and the Stationery Factory December 20th.
We got a Progression Brewery coming up, don't we?
Yeah, that's coming up this Friday.
This Friday.
Yeah, probably might not make the air there, but
No, it won't. But
that's all right. So go back in time and come over to Progression Brewery last Friday.
there we go. Thanks so much, guys. That was fantastic.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thank you, Chris. Great. And thank you, Jared, as well. And Kelsey.